welcome back to the channel. I'm MoDJ and we are locked in. This is the recap for episode 6 of Raising Kanan. Last week we had us a little camping trip to bring Raquel and Kanan a little bit closer. Now they didn't get closer on a mother and son tip, but more of a boss and hey, you next in line, because Kanan said he is ready to take over the game. But we also know that we still have an issue with the Italians. They came out there, they got on Kanan, but they left and one of them got shot in the leg. And this week we're going to deal with them. But before we jump into this recap, if you like Power, live after show discussions, breakdowns, theories, and predictions, hit your subscribe button and turn your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. And make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram, MoEDOTJ. So we're about to jump in this, and we know that Rock, she's coming out firing because the Italians, you don't mess with my son Kanan like that, and we don't bend and fold to nobody. So let's jump into it. This is the recap of episode 6.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you if you want it.
Just like I was saying, we start the episode off. Rock, she got everybody together. She's telling them, look, we ain't backing down for nobody. We don't care what the Italians are doing. We're about to be nationwide. We taking over New York and we going to take over Jersey. So y'all better get with it or get lost. Cause right now we bringing it straight to their front door. You don't run up on us like that. We also have our boy Worrell in here, and you can see that he's a little bit nervous. And Kanan, he's officially in the game. There's a lot going on right now, and Rock is telling them Kanan is officially in the game since none of the other men in the family want to step up and handle the business. Now, as she walks off, Worrell wants to talk to her. Lou is asking Kanan, are you really with this? Kanan says, this is what we do, Unc. He said, no, this is what your mama does. Now, you got Marvin asking about Tony, and he's upset that she ran off. But Worrell, he tells Rock, hey, I run into Unique every now and then, but he has a connection with the mob, and this might be beneficial for us to go talk to him and see if he can plug us in or do something. Now, Worrell, we know that he's working directly with Unique, but also he's trying to make money any way possible. And if that means bringing in Unique so Rock can get some money, because he runs the 40s, he's up under Lou, but he has a plan. We do see Malcolm. He's sitting in a little diner and the lady's saying, can I take your order? He's like, nah, I just got me a little coffee, but I'm waiting on somebody else. We still need to know what that conversation was between Malcolm and Kanan. Rock is talking to Kanan about what she does on a day-to-day. She also mentions, Grandma, you remember the one that was telling Rock that, Rock, you're really the issue? She's saying Grandma said that God gave men a penis to play with while the women go and do all their work. He's like, dang, Grandma talk like that? And we know Grandma talk like that. But she's also saying, Kanan, you're not going to be like the rest of the boys, the other men. You about to be a general. You about to have the whole organization. Detective Shannon Burke, we already know she's going to be working overtime, especially to find out what Malcolm Howard has going on in his personal life. She goes down and she pulls his file. She does know that he has a son now, thanks to Andrea last week, the working girl, you know, the barber. And she's saying, why is there a gap in Malcolm's work history? Between 74, he's not working, and then he shows back up. Now, the officer says unless he shot somebody or he was working undercover, it wouldn't be documented. She's saying, I never knew he worked undercover. So unless he had a leave of absence, that means Malcolm was out there working, and in 74, 75, Kanan was born. So while he was undercover, he was dealing with Rock, more than likely. The Thomas family pull up on Unique because Worrell has just told Rock, hey, look, I know you ain't really messing with Neek, but he has a connection to the Italians. Now, when they get there, Neek, he playing it cool. He always smooth. And he's calling out our boy Lulu, saying, how'd you miss Worrell with a tech while he was getting his freak on? He's telling Rock, I don't know. Lulu seems a little shaky. We all know Lulu wants out the game. So did he miss Worrell on purpose? Rock ain't trying to hear the back and forth between Neek and Lulu. We have Italian problems. And we all know that Neek, he saved his Sally's life. So she's saying, you got to end with him. He's saying, I know him. We were in there. I did something. She said, yeah, well, he owes you one. And we're going to go meet with the Italians. He said, all right, I ride solo. She said, no, we carpooling. Neek, smooth this brother on the show, said, well, I'm riding with you then. She ain't trying to hear that. She trying to handle some business. The play is in session. We meeting with Bosolini. Now, it's up to Lulu to make it happen, but put it in the open area where we won't get shot up. You also hear Rock saying she can't trust Worrell. And it's very convenient that now Neek, we just got rid of Neek, he's back in the picture and he's important. So it does seem like a setup, but they want to expand to Jersey, and y'all know Rock, once that mind is made up, that's what we going with. Juke is trying on dresses. My bad. Laverne is trying on dresses with her mother, Kenya. She's been into the church, she's singing, and now she's hanging out with her mom more. You could tell Juke doesn't really want to be in these dresses. Attractive young woman though. She doesn't want to be in the dresses, and she's looking at her mom, Kenya. She said, now you're looking like my daughter. Beautiful. Juke doesn't want to be in these dresses. She says, is this the last one? Kenya said, yeah, for this store. Damn. Marvin is my favorite character, and I always said that Renee is probably going to be good for him, and he's in here and he's explaining what he does at work without explaining that he's in a dope game. Our competitors, they're always on us. Now my boss, she makes me do a lot of work, but he's just talking about the dope game. We also hear him correct his speech because he was about to curse, but he's been hanging around Renee. Now while she's talking, she's saying, you see, Marvin changed up his vocabulary. He's like, yeah, I've been trying that. I also try that stuff when I'm at work. In, out, but it don't always work. Y'all know I want to slap somebody, George, you know. But now he's starting to agree with Renee, and he's actually liking this anger management therapy. Juke and Kenya, they're walking around New York City like they got some money, like they've been here before. We know Kenya, she's living a little bit better than Marvin and them, but that's a whole nother story. Now you remember Juke used to run on the streets with her homeboys. They used to get the clothes that fell off the truck, and then they would sell it and flip it. And they're like, Juke, why you wearing this? You paying for clothes? And she's like, well, you know, I'm switching it up. Kenya's like, what's your name, young man? He says, we ain't doing all that. Then they walk off. They like, Laverne, that's her name. Who knew that Juke looked good? So all the guys are looking at Juke a little bit differently now. Let's get down to business. Neek and Raquel, they walk off with Sal. You hear Marvin in the back saying, man, you live over there by Eddie Murphy? Man, I ain't know they let people live over there. But that's neither here or there. Over here, Sal was saying, I'm willing to knock a few points off of that number that they gave him at the first meeting. The only thing is, if they do this deal, Sal wants Unique to run the New Jersey operation because he trusts Unique. He doesn't really trust Rock yet, but they'll be allowed to work over there because they don't have the same connection that Rock has. But this puts Unique back in a power position because if he's running all of Jersey on his own, he only has to answer to Rock. But if things get out of control, he can just tell Sal, and Sal and them can muscle their way through. As Sal walks off, Rock talks to Neek and tells him, hey, you and Warrell, y'all set this up, didn't y'all? His cousin out there, everything getting hit, and now you moved your way back in by using Sal? Okay. But it's not about who starts first, it's about who finishes it. Neek is saying, man, it was just all a lucky mistake. That boy is smooth. He looks Rock in the eye and tells her, it looked like I hit the buzzer beater though. Hey, that's gotta be a good feeling. You back in the game and you didn't even try to get in the game. Kanan's first day on the job is to go pick up a brown paper bag with some money. You take it from point A to point B, you don't ask no questions. So he's learning the game, but of course, he's entry level. But when he comes outside, Famous is there talking about, man, we had some girls come through, it was crazy. But now crazy ass Freddie done hopped out. Freddie done got that stainless on him too. And he's telling him to run it. Kanan says, Famous' chain is fake anyway. He's like, I don't give a damn. You gonna die over that chain? Famous comes up off that chain quickly. Then they take the bag from Kanan. But inside of Kanan's book bag is the money. So now Kanan, he done lost the money on the first day on the job. Just like I said, it's your first day at work. You done lost $40,000, $50,000. He's telling Famous, look, I don't care what you talking about that gold chain. We're going to get that back somehow, some way. Famous is saying, nah, man, maybe it's just the way the world works. Kanan said, not for me, not no more. So we're seeing Kanan taking it to another level this episode. Rock meets up with Cartier Duns because he's still teaching her how to wash their money. And he's saying, even if I take a loss on these pictures, I still get to wash my money. So I'm not really worried about the pictures because I'm making way more money off the dope game than I am off these pictures. Now, the guy coming in that's selling the pictures, he touches him and says, hey, Cartier, I need your help. Slaps fire at him, says, man, I paid for packaging. You get that thing and you get it put in the back of my truck on your own. Where were we at, Rock? And Rock is saying, let's get down to business. How are you moving what you're moving? Where's that money coming from? Because Jersey and New York is already answered for. Mr. Cartier doesn't do business in New York and Jersey. He goes down south, DC, Baltimore, Virginia, the DMV area, because down there they don't have no supply. So what he does is he sends it down. He got people that distribute it to everybody. So he's making all the money off the top and they're going to pay whatever price because they want it and they ain't got it. Simple supply and demand. So Rock is hearing this like, damn, we could be business partners. You making things shake. So he holds his arm out, and it looks like we building a power couple. Ziza comes in, and she's saying, why you always in the studio? Because he's trying to get this damn label off. But boss man, Cartier, he said, why ain't that song on the radio? If it ain't on the radio, tell Lou we going elsewhere. Now Zia, she also wants to know, why did you give me the song that your niece wrote? And does she sing it better? And Lou tells her straight up, the business ain't about who sings it better. It's about how we can market it. And she's saying, well, sometimes when I'm alone and when I do sing, I sing to that certain somebody. And he's like, who is that? She said, who do you think? And then she tries to go in for a kiss. But Lulu ain't about to get played twice, not by Jessica and Ziza. So he just takes his record and he gets on out the way. Kanan and Famous, they're looking for weapons. You see Famous pick up a knife and a fork. Kanan's like, you ain't got no knives around here? No real knives, not a butter knife, a real knife, no bats? Famous like, I ain't Spanish enough for that. So they go down to Corinne's house. We know Miss Polymer in there. Hey, Miss Polymer. And they trying to get knives. And Corinne, she doing her fingernails. She ain't worried about all that. But Polymer takes Kanan in the kitchen and says, I think I got what you're looking for, Kanan. And she hands him this rusty revolver. Kanan's looking at her like, damn. She said, I want you to be good in that kitchen. I don't want you to get burned. And then she kisses Kanan on the cheek. But I was the one to tell y'all that Polymer was going to be a vital asset for Kanan moving forward. And we're seeing it play out in real time. Kanan has just officially turned into the Kanan that we've been waiting on. They sneak up on Freddie and his boy, and when his boy goes in, they bum rush him. Kanan pulls that thing out on him, tells Famous to get the money. Freddie talk about, man, when we seen that money, we don't want them kind of problems. Kanan said, well, you done already found it. Now they got the money back, but Kanan has to set a message, let them know we ain't playing around. Kanan pistol whips him, gets on top paws, and pat, 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 pat. I'm talking about whooping on him. His homeboy on the couch ain't doing nothing. Famous talking about we gotta go. It's an old man looking in the door. He said, man, I don't want no problems. He went in his room. Kanan went back, kicked on him, took the chain. Yeah, Kanan ain't playing around with you. Famous is like, man, you messed him up. And Kanan's saying we had to leave a message so he won't do it again. Right when you think things are gonna be better than what they were, the police pull up. They gotta hit the block. I'm talking. Famous ends up falling on the ground though. They didn't caught his ass. Kanan hit the alley. Famous had the book bag with the money in it. They done got the money and locked Famous up. Rock and Marvin are in the kitchen and she's cooking up things and they're about to have a moment where they talk about their kids. So Marvin wants to know, how was it up there in the woods? She was like, man, the mob tried to kill me. Marvin, what do you mean? How was it? He said, did y'all connect at all? She said, nah, he's at the age he keeps to himself. So then Marvin talks about Juke, saying it's the same thing. He doesn't even get a chance to wonder because she's not talking to him. But Rock says, let me talk to you, Marvin. You put your hands on Juke, I helped raise her. So putting your hands on her is like putting your hands on me. And if you do it again, I'll kill you. Oh, and she's been talking to Kenya. She's up in Harlem. He said, what? She's back? So Marvin is upset because Kenya's been gone, his words, 16 years. And now she's back? He don't like that at all. But that conversation is interrupted and Kanan runs in talking about, Mom, we gotta go right now. They got him. She's talking about they got who? And who is who? He said 5-0, they got Famous. He had some weed or something in his pocket. She's like, well, I mean, that's on Famous. We don't take on other people's problems. That's on him and his family. Kanan's like, Uncle Marv. Marvin said, she's right. But you gotta understand, this is a street. Kanan, Famous is your boy. He worked for you. So that really is on you. You gotta understand, you in the game now. It ain't no mom and son. It's all a part of the game. Shannon and her ex, they're at the house, candle lit, wine sipping, and they're talking about Howard of all people, saying Howard went undercover. I didn't know about this. And he has a son he never mentioned to me. Howard doesn't tell me anything. But Adina's saying, well, maybe they're lying. But how would you feel about me staying the night? The only thing is I don't want to be hurt again, Shannon. And Shannon says, well, I'm okay with it. And they get to kissing. We didn't ask for this, but they gave it to us and got a little girl on girl action. We got the family dinner. The Thomases are together and we know that they aren't organized. You hear Marvin trying to talk to Juke. I haven't seen you in a dress since you 2 years old. Juke 18 years old now. Lulu talking about pass me the potatoes and the salt. Rock said, what's wrong with my potatoes? He said, ain't nothing wrong with the potatoes. I said I wanted some salt. And Kanan bringing up Famous being locked up, talk about, hey, Uncle Lou, Famous got locked up. Should we leave him in there? Rock said, that ain't our problem, Kanan. He said, that's my brother. She said, yeah, He got a different mother, so the family, they need to figure that out. My boy Famous is in there locked down. They got Famous in here jammed up. So what does he do? He starts freestyling. He's a rapper, Puerto Rican Famous. The mixtape, it's going triple wood. But one of the inmates says, hey, I know you. Streets need a body. Famous said, yeah, it's hard, ain't it? He said, hell no, that shit trash. I don't listen to that noise. And I seen all of your cassettes in the trash can. Everybody laughing at him. Famous turned around. He thought he had some people that actually rocked with him. Damn. Jail ain't the place to be, people. We have to give Marvin credit. He's still trying to be in Juke's life, but she's playing him off. Now, when he sits down to talk to Kanan, Kanan whispers, they got the money. Marvin's like, wait, the money you was moving from Baisley? He said, yeah, the police came. Marvin says, oh man, you better tell your mom about that. She counts every single penny, and I ain't helping you out. He said, man, if we can get Famous out, they'll give us the money. Marvin is trying to explain to him, them dirty cops, they splitting that money up and they about to go pay for something like Malcolm does. We know what them police do with that money. But also he's saying, look, your mom, she's focusing on Lulu just like I like, because I don't want no problems with Rock. But you, Kanan, she's gonna be looking at you and you better figure out what you're gonna do about that money. Rock and Lulu are in the infamous kitchen. Every time they get in here, Rock is gonna tell Lulu the truth about himself. And she's saying, maybe Neek was right. Did you miss Worrell that night? Lulu's trying to explain, I don't want to do that no more. You remember, he said he didn't want to take out Scrappy. He didn't want to do that anymore. But she's saying, guess what? Crown came and talked to me and said, maybe you're not cut out for that music business. You don't know what's going on there. You know, maybe you are a little bit shaky. And maybe I should just cut you up as a loss and let you go on about your way and get out of the dope game. Now, Lulu is looking at her because he needs the money for the studio. But now he's also looking at Crown, as you went behind my back to try to get me out and you went directly to my sister. So Lulu's in a predicament. He's really got his back against the wall right now because his music ain't jumping off and Rock is threatening to cut him out. Marvin shows up to talk to Kenya because he hears that you're back in our daughter's life. The only thing is you left to be a bootleg Anita Baker. Damn, Marvin, you going in on your baby mama. But you were right in this instance because it's been 16 years. And he's saying, look, you trying to come back and enjoy everything that we built. She said, Juke has never stopped being my daughter, Marvin. Yeah, she stopped being your daughter the day you left. The 11 years you stayed in LA and didn't come back. So Marvin, he basically tells her, stay away from me, stay away from Juke, and stay gone from our lives. Because you left. There's no reason to be back. Neek is looking at that work in Jersey like, oh yeah, it's time to open up shop. But you remember in Jersey, Worrell's cousin Damon was in charge. And he's thinking the same thing we are. How was Unique just bypassing everybody and in charge? That's because Sal said he needed to be. But Rock tells him, Damon, you can either work for Unique and be his lieutenant, or you can find work elsewhere. And you hear Neek in the back like, yeah, man, you taking a page out of my book anyway. Now, as Damon leaves upset, I'm taking that lieutenant spot. I don't care what nobody's saying. But Rock says, Unique, you just a guest in here, so that means don't act a fool with my work. Unique, you're a guest, and the first thing he does is exactly what Rock told him not to do. Puts his feet up on the furniture and looks at a Players magazine. Kanan did what Kanan was supposed to do. He called up his father, Malcolm. He's also a detective, and he went and got Famous out. Famous talking about, I did some hard time. He was just in a holding cell. Now, there's a difference between a holding cell and actually being locked up. But he hands Kanan some paperwork, and he's saying all the answers you need are right here. And when I set a meeting, you need to show up. Because you remember in the beginning of the episode, Kanan wasn't there. Whole time, Burke just pulled up, and she's looking at Malcolm talking to Kanan. And she's piecing things together, still in her head. And you remember the homeless guy? The bum that came up to try to buy from Marvin? He also sees Kanan out here. So this scene gave us a lot of information. Crown is in here organizing his music. Oh, J for jazz. Let me put this here. Lulu walks in and he says, I knew you were smashing Jessica behind my back, but I wasn't gonna let a beat get in between us. But then you went and talked to my sister, so you want me out the game? And you hear Crown say, you don't know the business. You end over your head. Everybody knows you need me or it ain't gonna work. Lulu hears it, but this time when he punches Crown, yeah, he goes ahead and chokes Crown out. And this is the last time we gonna see Crown Camacho. The only problem is Ziza walks in and says, what are we gonna do with him now? And Lulu is looking because now she's already been trying to kiss on Lulu, trying to get her music up and going. But now she has some dirt on him because there's a whole body in the studio. There you go, episode 6 of Raising Kanan. Definitely better than last week's episode. Let me know what you think about Kanan bossing up out here in the streets. He also got that money back. And do you think that the new business deal with Unique is going to work in our favor, or is Unique trying to do his own thing? Let me know what you think. I'm Mo.J. If you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tune in Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern for the live after show discussion. I'm Mo.J. Thanks for watching. I'm out.